Hello there, Marjorie. Okay, so let's have a look at your work. Sorry about the small delay in getting it back to you. Probably won't happen again. Start traveling. Back at my base, so back to a routine. It has been widely argued that motor and intellectual skills of children can be further enhanced by playful activities rather than through books. Good. Strongly support the idea of an enjoyable learning strategy for the young. This essay will discuss the reasons why books are inferior, using examples from the developmental milestone of children and sports to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Very good. Firstly, a child's creativity can be better developed when one is exposed to their social environment. Good. Who is the one here? One is exposed to the... I'm confused to... Are we talking about the parents? Because when the refers to the children, to the child, I guess. So that's a bit unclear. This is because at there, also look, we've got it singular here and plural here. So it's usually better just to link it all as just one, and in this case it's probably better to make it plural all the way through, because the plural is neither boy nor girl. So let's go. This is because at their younger age they are starting to explore the things around them. What could we use instead of things? Nature, their environment, their situation, something that just sounds a little bit more sophisticated than things. For instance, according to the study of developmental milestone, school-aged children are known to be imitators. This simply means that they are fond of role-playing, like cooking for girls and playing carpentry for boys. Therefore, through this experience, they have already widened their imagination of their future roles, which could not be achieved solely by reading. Genius. One small tip. Here, I didn't really understand this, and there's two reasons. I'm not familiar with this organization. Later I find it's an organization. And two, we don't have capitalization, nor do we have developmental milestone organization. And just a word of advice, it would have been better if you'd have said something like UNICEF or International Child Society, because then it's crystal clear that that's an organization focused or orientated at children. Okay, so therefore, through this experience, they've already widened their imagination of their future. Oh yeah, we've done that. Secondly, through games or sports, children will learn to use their decision making and their strength. Okay, their decision making skills. Okay, and then the second ability they could obtain would be something like decision making skills and their I don't know, strength awareness development or whatever, but it'd be like 1, 2, 3 and the 1, 2, 3, and that's a very, very basic example of parallelism, which comes in the later chapters if you want to skip along and read some of that. This is due to the fact that they have to find a more advanced technique in order to defeat their opponent. In Canada, as early as 5 years old, children are already trained to play board games like chess and join several competitions. Consequently, the skills of children are honed at an early age if they compete. Genius. That's fantastic. Very good. Here we could have just said, using examples from UNICEF and Canada to demonstrate points and prove arguments, and then change that to UNICEF. Okay? It would have just made it a little bit easier. To conclude, from the given points regarding the importance of play in learning, firmly agree that socialization and sports greatly influence the physical and mental capacity of children, which cannot be learned by reading alone. Good. In the future, schools will probably spend more time with social activities. Excellent. Fantastic start, Marjorie. I'm very, very impressed. Okay, so that essay had already been corrected. Never mind. Let's carry on. The issue of copyright law has grown in importance since the advent of industrialization. Strongly believe that this policy protects the literacy rights of an inventor, artist, or author, yet it does not greatly benefit the public's interest. Very good. What could we say instead of a negative construction? Does not greatly benefit. We could say, yet it fails to benefit the public's interest. And by that, using that construction, we're using less words, we're communicating the same, and it's making our writing more concise, more succinct. This essay will discuss both issues and provide examples from the Universal Music Studio and research from the music industry market to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Good. We don't need this. Research is always plural. We could have said and a study, but research is always a plural noun. Okay? On the one hand, through patency, original works of music composers and authors. Okay, so through patency, comma, original works of music composers and authors are highly paid according to public demand. Good. This is because these masterpieces are limitedly reproduced to consumers. For example, recent studies by the International Monetary Fund show that Universal Music Studio pay the artist according to the sales of CDs and demand in radio station. Thus, society takes part in terms of monetary reward either in the music industry or films. I don't understand that argument, I'm sorry. I can't understand how society takes part. If you'd have said, thus, through stringent legal protection, artists are rewarded for their work through national companies or something like thus, artists are clearly rewarded, and the copyright laws seek to protect and encourage more creativity. Okay, and then we're just linking it back because I don't understand how you finished that paragraph. On the other hand, no, this wasn't looking at both sides' argument. Okay, we look at this, and then second paragraph we look at this. Would society function better? So let's see. On the other hand, an infringement of the copyright law would mean little access to information. This is due to the fact that it could be readily accessible for free, which is most often available on the internet or applications on phones. For instance, it should be noted that recent research from music industry markets indicates that India accounts for almost 80% of music piracy in the world. Therefore, only the market industry prospers with the implementation of this law, and the society has limitations to consider or they will be penalized. I don't understand. It's not clear. I'd have just gone for something a little bit simpler. Okay, society benefits because artists are rewarded with more cash. More cash can be invested into better music and more music. Therefore, society definitely benefits. And just repeat the argument again. Okay, so your English is good, but we do need to focus on making the arguments a little bit easier to understand and a little bit more basic, perhaps, just to increase comprehension. Okay, and I think you will see a big improvement. Basically, the examiner is going to get paid per paper they correct. Okay, so the best thing is if I can just read it from beginning to end without having to go back and understand it, which is not the case in either of these paragraphs. Okay, so just really put some thought into a simple and easy to explain argument, because it's not the quality of the argument, it's the quality of the way you express it. To summarize, although the literacy rights of such law attracts the interest of a few in the economic aspect, I don't really understand that. I'm sorry. It should not be forgotten that the society has fewer opportunities to obtain and copy information. Okay, well done for using this one at the end. That's great. Sorry I didn't really get that, but I'd just go for clarity. Just go for slightly shorter sentences with one clause that's just easily and eloquently expressed. Okay, and we'll see some improvements if you follow that advice. Okay then, Marjorie, let's have a look at the paragraph. The bar chart shows the total caloric consumption of males in the UK during the three age groups. Sources of food are dairy, meat, pulses and vegetables. Fine introduction. Way over the word limit though. The maximum is 150 words. Okay, so before you send me your next task one, make sure it's at 150, and if it's not, Just go through and delete sentences and words that are not necessary. Initially, between 0 and 24 years old, dairy products are largely consumed by males at over 40% of the total intake. Good. Next is meat and vegetables, which are both almost less than a half of the total milk products consumption during the same period. Good. Turning to the middle age group. Okay, so I would have just grouped those three together. Broadly speaking, they are pretty much the same. So we could have just bunched them all together. Turning to the middle group, 25 to 49 years old, it is noticeable that males became meat lovers more than the prior age group, consuming about 50% of the total caloric intake. Don't use a phrase like meat lovers, okay? Just say preferred meat. Okay. The reason is because it's got to be more objective and rather than subjective. Okay. In contrast, vegetables intake gradually. No, if we're saying vegetables intake, it means that vegetables are consuming, which is not the case. So, in contrast, the intake of vegetables gradually decreased over the three periods at approximately 20%, 15%, and 10% respectively. Good. Finally, on the later stage of life, consumption of pulses rocketed to more than 6 times its lowest point from a tenth during the middle age period. Okay, good comparison, and well done for using the comparisons as well in the other sentences. Overall, caloric consumption varies in each period of life. The high source of calories in the initial period is milk products, meat for the middle age, and pulses for the adulthood, and pulses for late adulthood. Fantastic. The biggest problem is the word count. Second problem, really good. You've got the respectively sentence. You managed to group some of the information. So keep grouping. Keep on using the respectively. Okay. And in the next graph, I think you would really benefit if you could organize it slightly differently. For example, talked about all of this one, then all of this one, and then all of this one. Okay. If you can take a similar approach to the next description, I think your writing would benefit tremendously. Okay, Marjorie, sorry again for the small delay. You're doing well. Let's carry on improving. Just remember to modify the error list, implement all the corrections you've heard, and then send me back your 2 new essays all together in one email. Okay, let's keep on moving. Doing good.